I'm going to be reading a piece by an author named Mark Berry, who is a pilot and writer who is based in St. Louis. The piece is called Wild Hair Up Your Nose. You have big plans for your life, as soon as your screenplay is discovered, or you complete that epic novel you've always intended to write. The one with the motorcycles, beer, rock and roll, and of course, body-painted ladies, all wrapped up in a way that feels like literary fiction. You have big dreams and big bills from your out until sunrise, 7 nights a week nightlife that follows your daily dinner shifts. But it will all work out once you get your one big break. Once you're discovered, you won't need that shit work, what you call shift work. But right now, you have plates to deliver to table 23, where their locally acclaimed Pan Asian infused food is still hot. And then you'll need to provide menus for the 30-somethings who just sat down at table 12 by the window. Because it's a party of 6, you'll automatically add a 20% gratuity to their bill, and your eyes are already blinking dollar signs. But something is wrong. Underneath those dreamy eyes of yours, something is calling for your attention, calling in a way that a snakebite would summon your return to reality. It's much less painful, but every bit as demanding. It's an itch of previously unknown intensity. Visions of your A-list future will have to wait. Your fertile imagination is blending visions of amber waves of grain with a magician that you once saw in your single-digit years pulling an endless string of multicolored handkerchiefs from his left nostril. Yes, something is wrong in your nose. You drop off your culinary burden in one big hurry, forgetting to stand on each customer's left side, instead dealing plates of food out across the table like blackjack. You wave to the new group and indicate you'll be right there. Stopping only at the entrance to grab 6 menus, you hold these towering documents up high as a privacy fortress to hide behind them and scratch. At first only on the outside of your suddenly tormented olfactory protrusion. The taunting affliction continues unabated, so you next pinch your honker, twisting the cartilage, still trying for an eternal solution. God forbid you actually consider picking your nose in this trendy-to-a-fault restaurant to find relief. But the itch persists, resisting every surface attempt to combat it, and you momentarily lower your menu bundle in order to look around to make sure that nobody is watching. Only after the coast is clear, and you double-check just to be absolutely sure, do you raise your protective screen again. You have to go digit diving. There is no other way. So you plunge your left index finger into that forbidden yet irritated nasal opening. You poke a couple of exploratory times, and then you give your pointer a good knuckle-deep push and spin. Ah, that sweet feeling of relief. You cautiously remove your finger, and it comes out dry. Or mostly dry, because apparently it wasn't a clump of stubborn mucal matter, a booger, that was bothering you after all. You wonder about the lack of physical evidence. Although the culprit hasn't been revealed as expected, you think for a moment that you've solved the problem. It is to be a short-lived triumph. You drop off the menus with a practiced smile, one that would make you the envy of any Viagra commercial actor, and are ready to move on with your shift. You debate whether or not to wash your hands. Since you're in the food service industry, the decision should be obvious, but life is never so simple. Before you can take 3 steps toward the restroom, the one that is marked GQ as opposed to Vogue, it is back with a vengeance, that damned tingling itch. Tickle, tickle, it is saying, in a language only known to nerve pulses and a spectral part of your brain designed to translate them. It taunts you. I'm still here. Come back and get me. 2 other tables try to stop you as you make a beeline for the restroom. You politely nod to each, even though your neck and facial muscles are now clenched, and offer vague hand signals that you hope will confuse your customers enough to make them believe you've heard, and will immediately honor their requests. You will not. Inside the GQ restroom, you smell the familiar spearmint urine cakes, the wintergreen air freshener over the door that is timed to mist every 10 minutes, and, of course, a hint of the odors they are designed to conceal. In front of the lengthy mirror that spans both the tandem sinks, you attempt to look deep into your aspirating entryway, making pig faces by pressing on the tip of your nose and tilting your head to optimize all available light. The bare bulb in the center of the ceiling and the fluorescent tubes over the wide mirror. Ever clever, you are also shining your cell phone display into your nostrils to try to penetrate the darkness of your natural cavern. What's that in the way back, super deep inside there? A single sliver of thick, dark hair is barely visible against the darker void behind it. The passage that leads to your core or lungs or the back of your head, you're not exactly sure of your own internal anatomy. Med school wasn't for you. You're staring at an obviously wild hair. And you always thought you didn't really have one, that your life was ordinary, that even breathing was normal. This damned wild hair is long enough to reach across and tickle the side opposite of where it's rooted, deep inside your nostril. Again, not hilt deep, but it's really in there. The suffering isn't as bad as the time you caught your manhood in your pants zipper back before you were old enough to be considered a man, but your inner torment has already grown to Chinese water torture proportions. And if you could trade this itch for a round of waterboarding, you would beg to be slowly almost drowned. You have no choice but to try and grab it, this new internal enemy. Life cannot go on this way. But can 2 fingers fit inside your own nose? Not a chance. Can you sneak behind this feral offender with your little finger and pull it down towards your nostril opening? Then you can grab it with 2 fingers of your opposite hand. With a wry smile, not the practiced faux show of teeth you flash your snobbish customers, this new attack strategy becomes your own. This unwelcome party-crashing hair is happy inside there. It has grown strong and thick and long, and it seems more than content just hanging around in the breeze that is your breathing incessantly tickling the sensitive skin on your opposite inside nasal wall to test its boundaries, to whisper, hello, and let you know it's there inside you. It exists, and it wants to play. Like an insolent squatter, it isn't going to vacate without a fight. It's stubborn, and it's waiting for you to break out the power tools to teach it a lesson. But you are going to go mano a mano, or maybe monofilament, with this rebellious rope. The problem you contemplate is pain management. After a bit of exploration with your little finger, the advanced infantry you used to get the drop of the wild hair that is now your sworn enemy, and returning the demonic fiber to the waiting pincers of your other hand, you know you'll need to brace yourself for a quick, solid tug, like the trick your mother used to use to remove a Band-Aid. It's a trade-off, a temporary sharp pain for the promise of perpetual relief from that persistent irritation. You position your hands and stare into the mirror of your own determined eyes and clenched teeth. Count down from 3, and then stop because, you're unsure if you should tug on one or if you should just say go. You resent your own growing expression of self-doubt, and you try not to laugh at the way both of your hands are crammed into your face to do battle with the smallest of adversaries, because you know that you're losing. Outside there are plates to be cleared, new orders to take, water glasses to refill, and you imagine the discretionary portion of your income is slipping away as rapidly as you neglect your duties. You can't live this way. And so, with renewed enthusiasm, you count down out loud, really fast. Too fast to stop yourself this time. 3, 2, 1! And then you say it. You say go! And pull. Time all but stops. And just as you begin to form your favorite expletives in rapid fire, goddamn piece of shit, motherfucking ouch! You start, that word starts traveling from your hippocampus but hasn't reached your mouth. That spectral pulse translating portion of your brainstream delivers the nasal play-by-play in slow motion. In time measured in nanoseconds, or maybe even less, that wild hair stretches. A chorus of roots screams, no! And finally, the image of a mighty oak tree being torn by its roots from the earth by a horrific storm flashes across your mind. The resulting pain is sharp, as you predicted, just like the steak knives you suddenly remember Table 19 asked for half an hour ago. And it's very local, like the deeply buried memory of the sting you felt as a toddler when the doctor stuck you with the first of many vaccination needles. But this skin prick is in your face, and not at the other end, where you were equally sore, but also more embarrassed because you had to pull your pants down in front of that man in the white coat. And this time, unlike that fading memory, you endure the discomfort without the aid of a lime green apple and watermelon flavored lollipop. Time resumes passing at normal speed, and the pain quickly goes away. You breathe in, you breathe out. Held between your triumphant fingers is a single, defiant, wild hair, roots and all. Victory! You imagine it's flipping you the middle finger even as you drop it in the sink and rinse it away, circling the drain in one last FU salute as you add a full blast rush of both hot and cold water, all the more pressure and volume to carry it far, far away through the pipes. And then it is gone. And so is the itch. In the mirror now, you catch a glimpse of an unchecked smile, a real one. You breathe in and out again, and to your relief, you feel normal. No more internal tormenting signals. Both your nose and your brain are happy, albeit with one less connection between them. You're free. The rest of the evening awaits you without distraction. You turn out the bathroom light, only to hear a man's voice complain from behind the metal door of the far stall. Still, you turn away from the darkness of the now unlit room, the scene of your battle with that formerly tormenting fiber, and head out into the brightly lit restaurant to embrace the next challenge on your Service with a Smile agenda. Several tables see you reappear and desperately attempt to attract your attention. You give them all a nonchalant nod, with your head now held high, and strut over to the mint basket perched on top of the greeting podium to claim your prize. There are no green lollipops, even at the bottom of the wicker basket, but the red and white swirled, individually wrapped peppermint candies are still a sweet reward for braving the pain. An instinct you can't ignore. Your mom would be so proud. Did you remember to wash your hands?